Hi everybody and welcome to this week's virtual pub quiz. Now we might not be able to travel at the moment, but this week's quiz will give us a little trip around the world. So we've got 15 questions on general knowledge and then 15 questions about things around the world. So get your thinking caps on. What we'll do is we'll deal with the questions first. Pop me and pause at any time if it's going too quick and give yourself a few extra seconds. And then what we'll do is we'll have a little few seconds pause and then we'll go through and do the answers. So let's get started. Question 1. After how many years would you celebrate your crystal wedding anniversary? So after how many years would you celebrate your crystal wedding anniversary? Question 2. Now some of you may remember this. So how many old pennies equaled a florin? So how many old pennies equaled a florin? Question 3. What is a doodle sack? So it's a German word, but we want to know what is a doodle sack. Question 4. Which zodiac sign is symbolised by an archer? Might even be your zodiac sign. So which zodiac sign is symbolised by an archer? Question 5. Who designed St. Paul's Cathedral? So who designed St. Paul's Cathedral? Very famous person. Question 6. When is St. Patrick's Day? Now celebrations I'm sure won't be able to go ahead this year, but we want to know when is St. Patrick's Day? Question 7. Which type of nut is used in the production of marzipan? So which type of nut is used in the production of marzipan? Question 8. In the rhyme Little Tommy Tucker, he sang for what food? So we know he sang for his supper, but what food was it? So in the rhyme Little Tommy Tucker, what food did he sing for? Question 9. Who was the last Tudor monarch? So who was the last Tudor monarch? Question 10. How many gallons of beer are there in a barrel? So how many gallons of beer are there in a barrel? Question 11. In which year was the young Prince George born? So I'll give you a hint, he's definitely under 10. So in which year was the young Prince George born? So that's William's oldest son. Question 12. What is the national animal of Mauritius? So what is the national animal of Mauritius? In a traditional Punch and Judy show, what is the name of Mr. Punch's dog? We've all seen one of these shows at some point, so hopefully they're seaside, aren't they? So hopefully we can get to the seaside again. So in a traditional Punch and Judy show, what is the name of Mr. Punch's dog? What does the A stand for in A level? So what does the A stand for in A level? What is the collective noun used for a group of grasshoppers? Now that's quite a strange one. I'll be impressed if you know this one. So what is the collective noun used for a group of grasshoppers? So that's the first 15 questions of general knowledge. So now we've got 15 questions based on things around the world. So, question 16. What colour is the circle on the Japanese flag? So what colour is the circle on the Japanese flag? How many floors are there in the Empire State Building? So I know that's a tricky one, so I've given you some choices. Is it 103, 123 or 153? So how many floors are there in the Empire State Building? Are there 103, 123 or 153? Either way, that's a lot of floors. Which continent lies in all 4 hemispheres? So which continent lies in all 4 hemispheres? What colour is a New York City taxi? So what colour is a New York City taxi? Question 20. Which is the largest of the Canary Islands? So which is the largest of the Canary Islands? (21) Which colours are featured on the Dutch flag? So which colours are featured on the Dutch flag? (22) In which sea would you find Malta? So in which sea would you find Malta? (23) What is the national currency of Sri Lanka? So what is the national currency of Sri Lanka? (24) What is the national flower of Scotland? So what is the national flower of Scotland? (25) What is the capital of the Seychelles? Seychelles, Seychelles, however you pronounce it. So what is the capital of the Seychelles? (26) What is the national flower of the Netherlands? So what is the national flower of the Netherlands? (27) A vehicle with the national registration code PK would originate from which country? So a vehicle with the national registration code PK would originate from which country? (28) In which European city would you find Dam Square? So in which European city would you find Dam Square? (29) Sacramento is the capital of which US state? So Sacramento is the capital of which US state? And lastly, question 30. In 1917, Finland declared its independence from which country? So in 1917, Finland declared its independence from which country? So there you go, that's all your questions. Pop me on pause, make sure you've got all your answers together, and join me again in a few seconds and we'll go through and see how well you've scored. See you in a sec. So welcome back, and it's now time to go through and see how well you've scored out of 30. So, question 1. After how many years would you celebrate your crystal wedding anniversary? And that's after 15 years. Question 2. How many old pennies equaled a florin? It's 24. Question 3. What is a doodle sack? So it's a set of bagpipes. Bet that was a hard one to guess. Question 4. Which zodiac sign is symbolised by an archer? And that is Sagittarius. Question 5. Who designed St. Paul's Cathedral? And that was Christopher Wren. Question 6. When is St. Patrick's Day? And that's the 17th of March, so it's next week. Question 7. Which type of nut is used in the production of marzipan? And that's an almond. Question 8. In the rhyme Little Tommy Tucker, he sang for what food? So we know he sang for his supper, but he sang for brown bread and butter. Question 9. Who was the last Tudor monarch? And that was Elizabeth I. Question 10. How many gallons of beer are there in a barrel? And there's 36. It's quite a lot. Question 11. In which year was the young Prince George born? And that was 2013. Seems ages ago, doesn't it now? Question 12. What is the national animal of Mauritius? And it's the dodo. 13. In a traditional Punch and Judy show, what is the name of Mr. Punch's dog? And he's called Toby. 14. What does the A stand for in A level? So it stands for advanced. So it's your advanced level. 15. What is the collective noun used for a group of grasshoppers? And it's a cloud. I'll be really impressed if anyone knows that. That's one of those obscure bits of information that you didn't know you needed. So now on to our 15 questions of around the world. So 16. What colour is the circle on the Japanese flag? And it's red. 17. How many floors are there in the Empire State Building? So the answer was A, 103. That is a lot of floors. You wouldn't want to take the stairs, would you? Question 18. Which continent lies in all 4 hemispheres? And that's Africa. 19. What colour is a New York City taxi? And it's yellow. 20. Which is the largest of the Canary Islands? So that one's Tenerife. 21. Which colours are featured on the Dutch flag? So we have red, white and blue. 22. In which sea would you find Malta? And that's in the Mediterranean. 23. What is the national currency of Sri Lanka? So it's a Sri Lankan rupee. 24. What is the national flower of Scotland? And that's a thistle. 25. What is the capital of the Seychelles? Victoria. 26. What is the national flower of the Netherlands? And that's a tulip. 27. A vehicle with the national registration code PK would originate from which country? And that's Pakistan. 28. In which European city would you find Dam Square? So that's in Amsterdam. 29. Sacramento is the capital of which US state? And it's California. And lastly, question 30. In 1917, Finland declared its independence from which country? And it was Soviet Russia. So that's all your answers. Total them up, see how well you've scored out of 30. And join me again next week when we'll have 15 questions on general knowledge and 15 questions on sports. So have a good week and see you then. Bye for now.